Hello, you guys. I hope you guys are having a fantabulous day wherever you are. So, this is Mareka from Spirit Source Pinnacle, and today I wanted to talk about giving without getting got. So, that means that you're extending care and compassion to other people without being taken advantage of or trampled on. This is especially important for empaths and highly sensitive people, but this can apply to everyone who has the caretaker healer type of mentality. So, a lot of people talk about boundaries and stuff like that and different kind of general stuff to help with overgiving or having a hard time receiving or never feeling like you're doing enough for other people. But I'm going to talk about it a little differently today. First, I wanted to, of course, say that whole thing in a more practical term so you can understand like what it would look like in your daily life. So the first thing it would look like when you can give without getting got is that you give without expectation of the other party. So what does that mean? That means that, let's say, and this is just an example, if there is a homeless person and you give them $10 and maybe instead of getting $10 worth of food, they get maybe like a little small burger and then a big bottle of alcohol. And then someone gets mad, like the person, you get mad about it. That's kind of like, that's signs of like a I have to save these people type of thing. And we'll talk about that later. But I just wanted to give that an example. So you give things to others without an expectation of what the full outcome is. Now, there is a such thing as you giving with the intention, but you can't get attached if they don't do that. So that's what that means. Second thing it means to give without getting got, and in a healthy way, is to understand your needs and boundaries. So I kind of mentioned that a little bit. And I made it a little more practical here, but I'm going to make it practical one more time. So if you are in your house and you're just chilling, having your little one manifesting bath or something like that, and someone calls you and says, oh, I want to go to the bar tonight, and you already in your bath and you're like, I feel so good, I don't want to leave. And you're like, maybe I don't feel like it, and then the person's like, you have to go. And then you just like launch out of the tub and just completely disregard your own self-wellness to go with them. So that's bad boundaries, and that's not addressing your needs. So I just wanted to make that a little bit more practical. And the third thing it means to give in a healthy way is to not get into a loop of servitude. I'm sure you understand what that is. When someone is doing something wrong, and we see them doing it wrong, and we keep trying to save their ass, and they keep doing wrong because they're not learning their lesson. That's a loop of servitude. So that's what that means. And so next we're going to get into why long-term it's so important for us to not overgive to people. And I literally mean no matter what. You can be a giving, generous person, but overgiving will F you up now and later. So the first reason why it's so important is because when you give in a healthy way, you have no problem giving to yourself. Just like we talked about in that previous example where like you weren't addressing your needs and you weren't staying true to them. When you start giving in a healthy way, you're able to give to yourself and feel okay. Like if you stayed home in this scenario, you would feel okay. You'd be like, yeah, maybe they'll be without me, but my peace of mind is more important than that, which is understandable. So the second reason why it's so important to give in a healthy way is you don't feel responsible for other people. I just had a session with a lady today, actually, and she had some horrible, horrible things happen in her life. I'm talking really, really bad. And she was just telling me how, like, she was trying to help these people, but they were just psychopathic. And even though she knew that she couldn't help them, she was still feeling the guilt, thinking that she could help them or save them. No. You are not responsible for other people. You can help them, but you cannot support them. And what I mean by support is make the decision for them. You cannot make anyone's choices for them. You can help them and offer them a better path and give them a better option, but if they don't take it, it's not your fault. Also, you're not responsible for cleaning up if they don't make the right choice. That's not your responsibility. You can be an adult, you can be rational and take care of the situation without enabling, because that loop of servitude we talked about before is also known as enabling. So the third reason it's so important to give in a healthy way, and so you don't get trampled on, is to know how much is too much. As an empath and as a highly sensitive person, and also as a Virgo and tropical sign, I'm definitely the kind of overly practical one who wants to help people as much as I physically can. And I know a lot of you out there are like that too. And people say, okay, have boundaries. Okay, don't give too much. But what does that mean? Now, that is different for everyone in their specific situation. Usually you feel it in your physical body when you're giving too much. And when you're giving too much, you'll also feel like a pause. Like, from what I've noticed in myself and others, that moment where you overgive, there's a slight pause where you kind of inwardly know that it's too much. Now, in order to inwardly tell, you have to be calm. Most people are in a state of reactivity, so when they get that nudge that maybe this is too much, they usually don't listen to it. So when you're able to give in a healthy way, you know how much is too much and you are clear about it. Like in your head, you're just like, nah, I can't. I'm not, that would put me in a really bad place. And I'm not saying that like you should be selfish, but I'm saying that you have to give to yourself as much as you give to others. Or like we talked about at the beginning, you're going to be trampled on and thrown off to the side like a little crushed rag doll. Not only do I know that from personal experience, but I have seen that a lot of times. So I know you want to save everybody, but you literally cannot. And that's not me being mean. That doesn't mean you can't support people in their journey. And by support, I mean help. So I'll say help. That doesn't mean you can't help people on their journey, but you cannot make choices for them and you cannot save them. That is their responsibility. You can just offer a better option. So, at the end, how do we begin giving in a healthy way? So the first thing is actually to massage your thymus. We did this the other day. The thymus, like I told you, is about hormones and regulation. Now, not only does that have to do with your physical body, but also emotional regulation. That's why your hormones are directly linked with your emotions. And if there's anyone who has bad hormone problems, they also have really bad mood swings. So they are definitely connected. So the thymus is really important right there. And you can massage that. Also, you can tap on it. If you need a quick burst, you can tap on it. But you can just go ahead and massage it. I would do it once a day. And the second thing is you have to write a self-care routine. Yes. For some people that might be like, why would I do that? The reason why is actually not for the routine itself. It's for the fact that if you struggle with the idea of setting boundaries, with the idea of giving too much, you can write down a self-care schedule and a schedule that works for you. And then when people ask you to go places or do things, everything in that schedule that you put down is immovable. As in, unless somebody's literally dying, don't change it. Do this, I would say, for about 2 weeks. Then you'll internally be able to detect that point when you can give, but you'll know it'll be too much for you. Because by you literally laying out the framework for how you manage your time, which is the most important thing, after you do that, you can, and you fit other people in it, that will make you feel really confident in yourself, especially when you do it like for a week, because it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. Yeah, to start breaking a habit. And and obviously 7 days is a third of that. So when you establish those boundaries on your time for 1 week, it will start to help you it will help you so much. And because you're showing your subconscious, because I've talked about it before, you kind of have to prove things a little bit to your subconscious, and with practical action sometimes, especially depending on the place that you're at. When you prove that to your subconscious by controlling your time, literally it's going to be a snowball effect. It is going to be a snowball effect, and more positive things are going to come in your life. Also, you're going to attract more healthy people, because once you say, okay, I'm doing something, okay, I'm busy, the person that you are saying that to should be able to say, okay, that's fine. Not get mad and say, you're supposed to be here for me, you're supposed to do this. You'll be able to vet people a lot easier. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a fantabulous time talking to you. Remember, it is better to give to yourself just as much as you give to others. And it is possible to extend care and compassion while still not putting your head on a chopping block. And like I said, what does that mean? Giving without expectation of the other party, understanding your own needs and boundaries, and 3, not being in a loop of servitude and enabling others. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Have a fantabulous day.